think that weapons solve problems. That's what I'm trying to understand. People are in an argument, somebody pulls a gun, nobody else has a gun. ER 006420, State versus Corbin Szymanski. Can I have parties announce? State is opposed to your application. There's a $2,000 fine, cap of 6 years in the prison.
I am. And so we're asking that you deny the application, Your Honor, and that's based on some of the things that are contained within stipulations. And so in reviewing the defendant's PSI, what was reported to the PSI officer is that he was not under the influence of alcohol. He was the designated driver on the day of the offense, and that the reason that he became engaged in this altercation that was ongoing is
This defendant said he never wanted to touch a gun again, but prosecutors argued he turned a street argument into a shooting. What followed was a tense courtroom confrontation about weapons, responsibility, and how quickly bad decisions can destroy lives.
his member of his party engaged in a verbal altercation with the complainant in this case, and then what is reported is that the complainant then dropped the driver's side mirror of the vehicle that the defendant was operating, and then at this point the defendant grabbed the firearm and began holding it, and then he reported that the complainant walked over to the vehicle again, and that's when he fired the firearm and struck the complainant in his abdomen. And if we look at the evidence that was stipulated to, that rendition is in stark contrast to what was reported by witnesses that were present that stated that they were crossing the street when the defendant began calling out to them, making offensive statements to them, and then followed them in his motor vehicle. And then at that time, that is when the person, or the passenger in the defendant's vehicle, got out of the vehicle and engaged in the verbal dispute with the complainant. And it's stated and stipulated to evidence that the complainant attempted to cross the street when the defendant cut them off in the truck and brandished his firearm. And then there is this regarding the truck that the complainant did strike the truck, and then that is when the defendant shot at the complainant. And so the state's position is that no deadly force was exhibited against the defendant, and that he was not justified in using force, and that the force that he used was unreasonable and exceeded the scope needed if he's stating that he was in fear, like what he stated to the case officer.
Okay, I don't know why people think that weapons solve problems. That's what I'm trying to understand. People are in an argument, somebody pulls a gun, nobody else has a gun. What's the point?
You created the problem.
The case centered around a downtown altercation that escalated after a verbal dispute between two groups. According to prosecutors, witnesses claimed the defendant followed the complainants in his truck, pulled out a firearm, and eventually fired the weapon during the confrontation.
You'll raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Corbin Szymanski. I was being followed for 2 blocks downtown where that red statue is. You have to take a UE to get out there.
So let me ask you this question.
Yes.
If somebody's following you, they don't have a gun, and you have a gun, do you think it's okay to fire at them? That's the question. Again, I don't understand why everybody wants to have a gun. Nobody takes classes on guns. People just pull them randomly. It's sort of like, I took a lot of psychology courses. I should have double majored, but I did it because I took political science and you have all these electives. I said, let me take psychology. It may come in handy. And what I've discovered in my time and everything that I've viewed in this life that I have. One, when people are with groups of people and somebody does something stupid, then everybody jumps in because it's a group of people. And sometimes when you're by yourself, you would not have made the choices you made. The other thing that I've discovered is when somebody has a weapon, they always want to pull it. So I'm just trying to get into your psyche to understand what you think of this whole incident.
Very scarred from it. I actually still have nightmares from it. I don't ever want to touch a weapon.
Nightmares about what?
That night, and the fact that I hurt somebody, and that I hurt somebody very badly.
Do you have weapons at your home?
No, ma'am. Not. I have pocket knives for work.
Mm-hmm. And where do you work and what do you do?
Native American contracting, doing ironwork.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been working there?
Since January. I was working at...
But when the defendant took the stand, he painted a very different picture. He claimed the other group followed him for blocks, surrounded his truck, yelled at him, and even punched him through the driver's side window. He insisted he never intended for the situation.
GSI, but it's a mountain stabilization company.
All right. Anything from the state?
Okay, Mr. Szymanski, so you stated that you all were on Market Street by that red statue with the roundabout, is that correct?
Passing the red statue, we were at the first light, I believe. It was a long time ago. We were at the first light, and then an old friend that I don't even associate with anymore was saying something to him on the sidewalk, and then he comes to the truck, was beating on the truck, and then gets into an altercation with my friend, and then comes over to my side of the truck because I was telling him to leave us alone, and kept.
All right. And I'm so sorry. Just for my clarification, when you say altercation, what do you mean by altercation? Verbal, physical?
Verbal at the moment until he came, because I was telling him to leave us alone. He told me to shut up and came over and punched me, and then he was talking, running his mouth outside of the truck, like just provoking and provoking and provoking.
I'm sorry. Did you say he punched you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm sorry for interrupting I'm just trying to understand what he's saying.
So I kind of want to back up a little bit because you stated that the complainants were following you. Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so at this time, they're walking, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
They don't have any deadly weapons, do they? Okay. And you're in a motor vehicle, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the motor vehicle that you're in is pretty big motor vehicle, right? It's a big truck, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so what some witnesses say is that they were attempting to cross the street and you became angry and that you're the one that started calling them names. So you're saying that's not true? I put this on my life. I'm not the one that provoked the situation to begin with at all. Okay. So your testimony is that that was your friend that was engaging in a verbal altercation with the complainants and calling them names? Yes, and he actually ran.
The judge, however, focused on one major question: why pull a gun at all? She challenged the defendant repeatedly, saying too many people believe weapons solve arguments instead of making situations worse. The court...
And I'm not disputing, you did say you were cooperative with the police officers. I'm not disputing that. I'm just trying to clarify what occurred that night, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And so then when the complainant approaches the truck that you're driving, at that point, did you become angry and that's why you produced your weapon, or what?
I was frustrated because the girlfriend was standing in front of the truck. He was standing on the side. We did drive up probably 20 feet. We were in the turn lane, and they were following us, screaming at us. The only reason I didn't drive off from the scene is because my friend was out of the truck, and I didn't want to leave my friend downtown.
All right, and I'm sorry, is there something going on outside?
No.
All right, thank you. And I'm sorry, the friend that you're saying you didn't want to leave, is that the friend who ended up leaving?
He ended up leaving him, yes.
Okay. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further, Judge.
Let me just tell you, I can understand how sometimes things get out of control, and some things people could not foresee. I'm gonna give you a choice. These are your choices. There are no other choices. Don't ask for any other choice. This is your only choice. One, I can grant your application for deferred adjudication, but you are going to do jail time as a condition. Or two, I will not grant your application, and I'll sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Do you need to speak to your attorneys?
I want the deferred adjudication.
You all want to?
No, Judge, we addressed the possibility of this situation, and we discussed all the pros and cons, and he absolutely, as I stated earlier, wants to prove to the court, to the complainant, to his parents, that he's not that person and he's worthy of this opportunity.
All right.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I did find out last night that
That he may have a child on the way. Yes.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing about children on the way.
The defendant admitted the shooting left him traumatized. He told the court he still suffered nightmares from hurting someone and said he no longer wanted anything to do with firearms. His attorney asked for deferred adjudication probation instead of prison, arguing he wanted to prove he could.
I always tell people, if you have situations that are going on in your life where you have no control over the outcome, in the sense that you're before the judge, I don't know why people go forth and like, I'm going to have a child. It's like, you could be going to prison. All right. So first off, Norma, I need a reset date for restitution hearing. This is what the court is going to do in this case. The court is going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon, $2,000 fine. That will be probated. 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order anger management. Once anger management is completed, 100 hours of the community service restitution will be deemed satisfied. Or with minors. Oh, but Sean, he's going to need parenting classes since he has a baby on the way. All right, and there's to be 60 days in the Bexar County Jail as a condition of probation. Is there anything else you need from the court?
No.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Say yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Because it's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You need to make sure that you complete everything and you do everything appropriately. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
In the end, the judge gave him one final opportunity. Instead of prison, the court ordered 8 years of deferred adjudication probation, jail time as a condition of probation, anger management classes, community service, and parenting courses after learning he may soon become a father.